We're going to be in the kitchen with 120 Diner, and it's a classic meal we're having today, meatloaf. If you're like me, it's just such great comfort food, but there's so much more you can do with the meatloaf once you've had it for your dinner with the mashed potatoes. You can do other stuff with it. The Jazz Festival is coming up, and the chef from 120 Diner, Richard Henry, is all excited because you guys are going to be involved, right?
Yes, 2 full weeks. Well, 10 days straight.
Wow. So there will be music happening in 120 Diner?
Correct.
And so we can order your great food while we're listening to great music.
Sure can.
When does that all start?
The end of June. I think it's June 24th.
Such a great time. I love that time. And the weather will be warm by then,
yes,
right?
Yes, yes. Summer will be here.
Meatloaf, it's such a classic. I love it, love it, love it. But the way you do meatloaf is a little bit different. What's unique about your meatloaf?
Well, I put cream in it. A lot of people put dairy. I use either 18% or whipping cream, whichever.
Rich.
For home, I use whipping cream. It's a little rich for some people.
Oh, come on. Whipping cream, who knew? So we're starting with just regular ground beef, right?
Yeah, it's I use lean versus extra lean because I like the fat content, which is why I add panko, obviously, to absorb some of the fat.
Lean versus extra lean. Okay, so you get a little bit more fat.
Correct.
Okay, good. Although it says lean, there still is...
There's still fat in it.
Okay.
Regular is good, too. I mean,
okay.
I'm a big fat guy. I mean, French cooking's my passion, so the more fat, the better.
I love it when the meatloaf is swimming in that little bath of fat.
That's me.
Out of the oven.
That's me. I drink the bath and leave the meatloaf.
Oh, there's so much flavor there. All right, so we start with our lean.
Yep. And then you'll add an egg.
What does the egg do, anyway?
Binds it together. Gives you some binding.
Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to slice it, right?
You would, but it'd crumble a lot more. Mine's fairly crumbly as it is because of the cream. So you're using a cup, which is roughly half. Classic. How can you have meatloaf without ketchup?
How did you discover that cream was good in meatloaf?
I just decided to try it.
Well, you said you're French trained, right?
Yes.
So cream and butter goes in everything.
Well, I know, yes. And people say it's all bad for you. Well, no, nothing's bad. Then Dijon.
I love that you're using ketchup. Because that's what I use.
You have to. You have to. I mean, what good is it without the classics?
And the Dijon gives it a nice little tang.
Yep. Then you get basil. I like fresh. A lot of people use dried, which is fine. I just find that fresh is better.
Yeah, but they smell so different. Fresh versus dried is different.
Yes.
Night and day.
Or you can dry your own by using the microwave. It
Seriously?
keeps a lot of the flavor.
How do you
find it.
do that?
Throw it in the microwave on a paper towel with paper towel, your herb, more paper towel, throw it in the microwave for 2 or 3 minutes.
Get out of town. And that dries it up. And then it will, I can smell it now. And then how long will that stay fresh-ish?
Usually for a month or 2.
Gosh, I didn't know that. Cool. So if your basil plant is going nuts,
yes,
use it up, dry it in the microwave.
Or freeze it.
Or freeze it. Never thought of that. That's oregano, I can tell.
Yes. That was oregano. This is thyme.
Oh, that's thyme. That's right. I'm getting my scents mixed up. Oregano is so perfumey.
It is.
Okay, so those are typical beef herbs, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Basil, thyme, and oregano.
A little salt. Depends on how much you like your salt. Smoked paprika.
Spicy.
Well,
how much of that?
A tablespoon.
Okay.
And then, secret ingredient, sambal.
What's that?
It's a pepper paste. I first came across it in Indonesian food, but it's Chinese. A lot of people use it. Tablespoon-ish.
So you've got so many cultures mixed up in here. You've got a little bit of the French influence with the cream. You've got the smoked paprika. Where is that from? That's like Hungary.
Yeah.
And then you've got this Asian paste. What? It's a mishmash. It's a melting pot.
It's classic diner food with a little bit of a touch. And then a cup of panko. You can use more or less depending on your taste. If you'd like to put on some gloves.
Are we going to mix it up now?
Yep.
Okay.
And then a little pepper. Now, salt and pepper you can use as much as you want. I don't use a lot of pepper because I figure people can always add it.
I'm going in.
Going in.
Is there a technique?
Nope. You just want it really well mixed. You'll find that it mixes a lot better because of the cream. If it's not mixing enough, we'll just add more.
Okay. Is it?
Well.
Am I?
Yes.
Is there such a thing as over mixing?
I'm sure there is, but not that I've ever.
Okay.
I don't.
I'm not gonna
cook
make it
strictly
tough.
by fun.
By fun.
Yes.
That's
You're
why the
supposed to
food
enjoy
tastes
it.
so good. Is this one of the best sellers at 120?
Yes, yes. Meatloaf, macaroni are our two big sellers. Classic diner food. We make everything in house, so
All right. How's that looking?
that's looking very well.
How are we for time? There we go. Now,
Now,
just
Plop
get
her
it in
in.
there. Okay.
are you having fun?
Well, I didn't realize how long and thin this pan was.
It'll squeeze out.
Look at that. Perfect.
And you've now made.
Look at that. Gorgeous.
Throw it in the oven.
It's the best smell. Let me guess. 350 for an hour.
Yeah, you're good. Now, an hour depending on the pan and depending on the oven.
Okay.
We use gas ovens, so it's a little faster or a little slower.
Well, now, let's say our meatloaf is done. What do we do with it? Or there are other ways that we can utilize meatloaf,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. What we use at the diner, we do a poutine with meatloaf on it. Very popular. Everybody loves poutine.
Yum.
We've just added meatloaf and mac. Everybody loves mac and cheese. So I figured, well, you know, two classic foods that I love. Let's eat them at the same time.
Well, let's eat them now. We've got 2 minutes. Can we showcase one of them?
Sure. Just happen to have some mac.
Well, look at that. Isn't that handy? And you say the mac and cheese is one of the most popular dishes at
It
129.
is, yes. We go through a lot of it.
Yeah.
We make it both with double smoked bacon and without, so for vegetarians.
Oh, I love meatloaf.
The magic of television.
Are you just going to slice it and throw it on top?
I am.
Well, that way we get a little more protein, right?
You do. And you have to have meatloaf that's good soft.
Do you know what? One of the best things you go ahead, keep cutting.
Okay.
I just remember my mom making meatloaf sandwiches
Oh, yes.
with leftover meatloaf. That was so great.
Meatloaf. But then you have to add cheese and, try and get this out without schmucking it.
And I love the idea of poutine. So with the poutine, you do have the cheese. And do you do
Yes.
gravy as well?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
So you just do that.
There you go. Oh, and those are the best bits right
the
there.
crunchy bit.
The crunchy bits. That's the ketchup that's caramelized,
Yes,
right?
it is.
Those are the best ones. All right, so we
there you
can
go.
enjoy these. And let's remind everyone when the Jazz Festival starts. You said late June?
It's late June. I think it's June 24th.
Okay, so if you want to enjoy good food, good music, check them out at 120diner.com. I assume all the info will be there, right?
It will be.
All right, up next, make the most out of the shift in seasons without feeling like you're falling behind. Summer anxiety. Oh, I'm just going to take this in.